Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I have another book haul for you, so let's just get right into it. So I know I pretty much literally just did another book haul, but I knew I was going to have another one pretty quickly because I went to the used book sale that I really like going to and got some more books, and then I also ordered a bunch of books that I wasn't really planning on buying but somehow ended up purchasing. But let's just get right into it. I'm going to start with the books that I bought at the used book sale because that's like the majority of them mostly. So the first two books that I got that like caught my eye on the table like as soon as I walked in were All Your Perfects and Heart Bones by Colleen Hoover. I pretty much when I go to the book sale, my like sort of I guess strategy, if you want to call it that, would be like that I go through the table once very quickly and just basically pull any books that I sort of recognize the author or like the title or anything, and I just like put them on my bag, and then I'll go sit on the floor like off to the side and go through them and kind of be like, okay, do I have this? Do I really want this? Like, what's this book about? Like, I don't stand at the table and like read the synopsis or whatever because I find that you just miss out on so many books doing it. Like, you have to get through it pretty quickly. And so these two were the first ones that caught my eye. I put them both in my bag, and I then realized afterwards when I went to sit down that I actually own All Your Perfects, but I have the old cover, and I really don't like the old cover. So I did pick this one up because they were literally $3. So I was like, you know what, I will buy it, and just like for now, I have both covers. I don't know if I'm going to keep the old one or if I'll just donate that one. But I did get these. I liked the old cover better of Heartbones, so I am kind of sad about that. But for $3, I don't really care. So I picked these two up, which I was very excited to find because it's very hard to find like good books at the used book sale. Like, you have to get there very early and be like the first one at the table, or else things are gone in like 5 minutes. Next, I got The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. I read Maggie Knox's other book that came out last Christmas. The one, I want to say it was called All I Want for Christmas. It had like a green cover. It was about a country singer, and I didn't really like it, but I heard a lot of good things about this one that came out the previous year. So when I saw it there for $3, I was like, you know what, I'll pick it up. I'm always looking for like Christmassy books, and I think this year I'm actually going to read them like super early because I never have time like actually at Christmas to read these books. And also, like, the library like waitlist lines obviously get way longer around the holidays for the holiday books, so I like having, you know, a physical copy to read if I so desire to do that. Next, I was excited to find this book. This is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. This obviously is like a little bit of an older book now, but I really liked this book, and I only have The Bride Test. I don't have The Kiss Quotient because I've just never like found it on like Book Outlet or anything for whatever reason, and so I was really excited to find it there so I could get a copy. I didn't particularly love the third book, so I don't know that I would buy that. Maybe if I found it at the used book sale, I might pick it up just to complete the collection, but I was excited to get this one. This next one is one that I would not have picked up, honestly, if it was not $3, but because it was $3, I was like, what the heck, I will get it. And that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is obviously around a lot, and I don't know. I said in my like authors I'm leaving in 2022 video that Taylor Jenkins Reid was one of those authors that I didn't think I was going to read from again because I just find her books are so overhyped. Like, I've read Malibu Rising and One True Loves. Malibu Rising was like, I remember thinking it was decent, but like I don't remember anything about it other than that they were throwing a party, and I feel like if that's all I can remember about a book, then maybe it wasn't that great. But One True Loves I really didn't like. I felt like that book had so much potential to be like super emotional and like just like heartbreaking, and it just wasn't. Like, it was very shallow. And so I kind of lost faith in Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing after that. For me, I just find that like I don't understand the hype around her. I don't think her books are that great from what I've read. I feel like this is the one that everybody really loves of hers. So I'm like, if there was another book that I was going to give a shot by Taylor Jenkins Reid, it would be this one. So I did pick it up, like I said, just because it was $3. I was like, you know what, I'm never going to find this cheap. And if I want to read it, now I have it. And like I said, everybody seems to like this one specifically. I do own Daisy Jones and the Six, but honestly, the more I hear about that book, the more I think I won't like it. And so this one I am open to potentially reading at some point in time. Next, I got Where We End and Begin by Jane Aguero. I actually have another book by this author that I haven't read yet, but obviously would like to at some point. I don't know much about this one, but I really, really loved the cover. I love the colors of that. I just think it's so pretty. And like I said, I have another book by the author, so I do want to obviously read them. And so I picked this one up, again, $3. I figured I would pick it. I was trying to be a little bit pickier this time when I went, because I find I kind of get in this like different mindset at like used book sales where I'm like, oh, it's only $3, I'll buy this and this and this, and then they just like sit on my shelf and I don't read them. And especially I find with like traditionally published romances, like those aren't my favorite anymore. I'm a lot more picky with what I will read that's traditionally published. And so something like this, I was kind of like, do I pick it up? Like, I don't know, like I have this other book and I've never picked it up. But I just really loved the cover of this one, to be honest. And I'm like, you know what, it's one book. Like, if I don't read it, whatever. But I definitely, like, was a little bit more selective in what I bought this time than I have been in the past, and, like, making sure that I was actually going to read them. I tried to, like, imagine myself at home looking at my bookshelf being like, would I pick this book up off the shelf, or would I pick up the indie romance sitting next to it? Like, that was sort of my thought process. And again, with this next one was another one that is traditionally published by an author that I've never read, and I was kind of like, do I get it? I don't know. This is Ramon and Julieta. This is by Alana Quintana Albertson. This one I feel like I saw around quite a bit when it came out, which is why I picked it up, and I haven't really heard anything about it since, but it's like a pretty short little book. Like, it's only, oh, it's 283. That's like not terrible, but it looks very short, and I just figured I'd pick this up. I don't know, like, I don't know. With books like this, I look at this and I'm like, if I was going to read this, I'd listen to the audio. So I'm like, do I really need the paperback? Probably not, but do I own it? Yes. So, I mean, that's that, I guess. But I just kind of figured, like, the book sale, really, I only go, like, twice a year. So if I buy 10 books, I buy 10 books. Like, whatever, it's $30. The next one I got is Just Another Love Song by Carrie Winfrey. This is the author of Waiting for Tom Hanks and Not Like the Movies, both of which I own and have not read. You'll notice that is a running theme with these traditionally published books. This one, what kind of sold me on it was the fact that he's wearing a cowboy hat. And so I think he's a country singer, and that is just so right up my alley right now. And I think what put me off of the other two books was, I want to say I saw somewhere that they were closed door, which, like, I'm not opposed to closed door. I like Sarah Adams' books, and hers are closed door. I just find that, like, sometimes they're not as good. But, like, they can be good. But they're, like, the ratio of, like, good closed door books to, like, bad closed door books, I feel is, like, very disproportionate. And so I tend to not pick them up as frequently. But this one, like I said, caught my eye because of the cowboy hat and the author. Like I said, $3. I figured I would pick it up, give it a shot, see if I end up liking it. Then this next one I had never heard of. This was actually one of the ones, I have this weird like thing when I go to book sales. Like, the first thing I do when I go through the table is I look for authors and titles, mostly authors when I first go through. And then once I do like a full sweep of like the romance section, just looking for authors, I will go back through and look for publishers. And certain publishers will catch my eye, like Atria or Berkeley or whatever. And this one caught my eye because it's published by Montlake, which is Amazon's publishing house, which is usually like authors that are usually independently published through them. And so that kind of caught my eye. And this is called The Paid Bridesmaid by Soraya Wilson. It says author of Roommate, which I want to say I've actually heard of that book. I haven't read it, but this one was just giving me the Unhoneymooners vibe. I really loved like the tropical cover and all of that. But this is about a girl who is like, you can literally hire her to be your bridesmaid. Like, you pay her and she comes to your wedding and pretends to be like your bestie. But she goes to this destination wedding to be in the wedding. And I think it's the best man thinks she's a corporate spy sent to tank his company. So he's like very suspicious of her and is kind of like, what's this girl doing here? Like, I don't think that she's actually her friend, and like whatever, and gets all suspicious. And then the two of them, obviously, I imagine, end up getting together. But this just like really sounded like the Unhoneymooners, almost with like the enemies to lovers kind of vibes on like a tropical island. And so I was like, you know what, I'll give it a shot, even though I've never heard of the author or the book really. But it's like really pretty. I don't know, I'm such a sucker for like these specific like colors, like the yellows and the oranges and the pinks. I really love those on covers, so I picked this one up. There was actually one of the ones I put back was another Montlake one, but it was like a really weird sounding one, and I ended up putting that back. This one was like a really last minute one. I think this was getting overlooked on the table because of the title. The title's kind of cringy. This is called Neanderthal Seeks Human by Penny Reed. This is actually like an indie published version. I'm not sure if this was ever picked up by a publisher, but it is an indie book. But Penny Reid, I feel like, has written like some really popular books recently that are traditionally published, and I've never heard of this specific series from her. And like I said, I feel like the title's kind of cringy, and maybe that's why it was still sitting on the table when I went around for like, you know, lap 42 or whatever it was. But I decided to pick this one up, see what it's about. They only had the first one, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know anything about this. I just recognized the author, and it was indie, so I was like, I'll pick it up because it was also only $3. And then the last book I got from the used book sale was Beautiful Player by Christina Lauren. This is, I think, book 3. I'm not even sure. I've been kind of like collecting. Oh no, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4. This is book 5. Oh well. I bought book 2, I think, Beautiful Stranger, at the used book sale previously, but it's not a mass market. So now I have like different sizes. But I figure I'll just collect them all in whatever size I can get them and read them. And if I end up really loving them, then maybe I'll buy like a nice like matching set of them. But for now, I'm good. Like this was literally $2. And this like, again, was like when I go through and look for like the authors, I don't generally look for the titles because I find like Christina Lauren will catch my eye a lot quicker than Beautiful Player will. And so that's kind of how I find things at book sales, I guess. But like I said, pick this one up. Figured if I end up loving it, I will buy a nicer copy. But for now, that is what I have. Then I bought some books, not at the book sale, obviously. And the first one, I'm so excited for this. I think this is going to be a 5-star read. So I am like saving this for like a special occasion almost. I may have read this, honestly, by the time this video comes out because I am pre-filming this. But this is called If This Is Love by Julie Ann. I've never read a book by Julie Ann. And I saw this book for the first time on Emily, I think her last name is pronounced Wittig. I honestly have no idea. The graphic designer that does a lot of the discreet covers on Instagram. And she did a video of like how she designed this cover. And that was the first time I'd ever heard of this book or seen this book. And I kind of like caught my eye with like the horse because it reminded me of Elsie Silver's new covers that she has. And I was like, I wonder if I would like that. And then it kind of just like fell off my radar after that. Like I saw it, thought, oh, that looks cool, and didn't bother like looking it up or anything because I hadn't really heard of the author. And then I was watching Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girls, one of her, I think it was a wrap up. It was some like video that she did where she was talking about this book, and she said it was really good and she gave it 5 stars. And the way she was talking about this reminded me of everything that I like about Bad for You by Abby Glines, but like with cowboys. And I was like, you know, I really just think that I'm going to love this. So I bought a physical copy, even though I haven't read it, which I've been trying not to do as much after the first down incident that I had recently. So I did buy this, and I'm excited to read this because I really, really think this is going to be a 5-star book. Like, I'm so excited to read this one. So I got that one. And then these next ones were like definitely sort of like an impulse purchase, I guess you could say. So basically what happened was I decided I wanted to buy a copy of Twisted Lies to read, obviously. I have not read this one. It's the only one I haven't read. I've been reading a lot more like paperbacks lately as opposed to ebooks. And so I decided I wanted to actually physically read this. But this is $25 on Amazon in Canada. And it also is like almost all the books in the series are always out of stock for some reason. And so I ordered this from Book Depository in the UK because it was only $15 there. And so I ordered this, and kind of with the thought of like, okay, if I ever want to buy the rest of the series, I'm going to have to buy them from Book Depository because they're going to be the Piatkus versions, different sizes than whatever we sell here. So I purchased this one, and then I was like, you know, I'm going to want the whole series. So then I ordered Twisted Love. And I was kind of back and forth on whether or not I was going to order Twisted Games because I really didn't vibe with that book. Like, it was definitely my least favorite. But I ordered Twisted Love, and once this one had shipped, I got the like notification on the Book Depository website that they were closing. And I was like, okay, that just kind of made the decision for me. So I ended up ordering Twisted Hate as soon as that was announced because this is my favorite book in the series. So I ordered this one because I did want to have the matching copy, obviously, with those. And then because they had announced they were closing and I was never basically going to be able to get the UK versions again at a reasonable price, I bought Twisted Games. Even though, like I said, I didn't really love this book, but I wanted the whole series to match. And I figured if I ever decide that I do want to reread them or whatever, I want to have, like, you know, the matching copies. So I did buy the whole series in the Piatkus versions, just so that I can have them all matching because if you didn't know, Book Depository closed, and so now I cannot order UK covers anymore, which I'm mostly sad about because I had pre-ordered Ella Mais's new book, and it was going to match these ones, and now I'm going to have to buy it from Canadian Amazon, and it's not going to be the same size, and I'm going to be really sad about it. I already know it. The last 2 books I bought were 2 that I went back and forth on so many times on whether or not I was going to buy these, or if I was going to get the audiobooks, or if I was just going to read them on Kindle Unlimited, or like what I was going to do. Like I couldn't decide, but I knew I did want to read them, and I ended up purchasing them, and that is Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline. This is the Cat and Mouse Duet by H.D. Carlton. I've actually never read an H.D. Carlton book, so I think there's one that goes before this, Satan's Affair. I don't know if that's before this or Does It Hurt? Is that the other book? I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But basically what finally convinced me to buy these was these are $25 each in Canada, which is like a lot of money. You know, it's $50 for 2 books. And so I wasn't buying them, and they weren't going on sale because they're indie, so they never go on sale. And then all of a sudden, like when TikTok started picking these books up, this one, the first one, went down to $20 or like 19 something. And I was like, you know, that's not a terrible price. Like for something that never goes on sale to be $5 off. I was like, you know, maybe I'll order it. But then I was reading all the reviews and people were saying that it ended on a cliffhanger. So then you're going to need this book. So then I was kind of like, okay, they're giving you this one for 19 so that you buy this one for 25. And I kind of was like back and forth. I'm like, oh, do I just buy this one? And like, whatever. And then this one went down to 18 and this one went down to 19. And then I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm buying them both. And so I did that. And I kind of want to read these like in spooky season this year. I don't know. Are these even like spooky season books? Like, I don't know. Everyone says that these are super dark, but then I've seen other people be like, oh, they're not that dark. So I don't know if people are just picking these up that don't normally read dark romance, so they have like no realm to compare it to. But I'm excited to read these. I've heard a lot of mixed things. Some people love them. Some people hate them. I don't know which I'm going to be, but they're very long, so I hope I love them. And also, I still paid like $40, so I hope I like them. But I did get these. They are not the same size, which drives me absolutely insane. But I did get both of them. And so that is everything that I bought recently. I'm probably honestly going to have another haul very soon because I'm pre-filming this video before I get my wisdom teeth out tomorrow. But I know I'm going to buy myself books as like a sort of like wisdom teeth recovery gift. So there will be more books shortly. There will be another book haul. Probably, I would guess, within the next like month or so. But I'm trying to like disperse them a little bit on my channel because I feel like all of a sudden I'm just buying books all the time, which I've definitely like reined it in a little bit, but we're starting to slip. But like I don't really care because like obviously I'm only going to get my wisdom teeth out once, so I'm going to buy myself some books. But that is everything for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below. I do new book videos every single week, and I will see you next time.